Awesome. I want to make sure I can see the script and see the video. That's my struggle with the windows. Come on. Can I get this work? Okay. I'll start with a bell and end with a ring, so you will know the beginning and the end. I would just like to invite you to notice being here. If possible, with a sense of curiosity, notice where your attention goes as you notice being here. Does it go inside or outside? Maybe it's the sound of the vent, the sound of my voice, or sounds from the outside that tells you that you are here. Maybe seeing the light or seeing the boxes on the Zoom screen. Just notice what is it that your attention goes first. In whatever way you sense yourself being here. For some people, you may feel your body suddenly resist being here as you notice it internally. Just notice it. Maybe your attention goes to your core or your heart or your thoughts. Just notice how you know that you are here. Now, I would like to invite you to bring your attention to the quality of being here. Is there a sense, maybe a sense of happiness or a sense of tension? Maybe an emotional quality of being here, like excitement or anticipation or relief. Bring your attention to your system. What is here? Now, I'm going to say some words, and I'll say them twice. I would just like to invite you to notice your system, what happens in your system as you hear these words. Who you are is enough. Who you are is enough. Notice any way these words landed and felt right, or any part of you that tensed up and said, no, that's not true. Or any way your answer showed up. Maybe zooming out, thinking about something else. If possible, bring a gentle awareness to yourself. It's all okay. Whatever you are noticing in your system, I would like you to notice that there's a root to that. There's an earlier experience. There's some memory or some lie that is here right now. Now, I would like to invite you to bring up a resource, something that helps you. It could be a resource of loved one or calmness or whatever state you like to be in. Maybe it's a person or a memory of a piece of music or art, something in the nature, a pet, or maybe it's a spiritual resource. Whatever helps you. In the moment, I will ring the bell again, and you can take all the time you need. Listen to your body. Whenever you're ready, feel free to open your mind, open your eyes. Welcome back. How was it like for you?
It was very relaxing. I noticed at first it was hard for me to really ground myself. I had a lot of thoughts going everywhere. But as it was progressing, then I was able to feel more grounded, like I could be more present in the moment.
I noticed that too. I noticed that I had read an email just before coming in, and then my Zoom link had to do a new update. And so, like, coming into that and like being all like, ah, hope this doesn't take too long. And then just to kind of come back and be with you, and it's very good. Like Clover said, it's very takes a minute to get grounded and be present. Put those things aside.
Nice. Good noticing. Linda, we can't hear you.
How's that?
Okay.
So I had to take time to open my eyes and mute my audio because the trucks were going by. And then I was like, oh no, it's going to interrupt this and I got to fix it. And because I'm a fixer. So I opened my eyes and I muted myself. And you guys probably didn't even hear the trucks.
Nope.
But then it was lovely. I settled right back in. So thank you.
Good noticing of that too. Yeah. I think for me, the interesting thing was as I read some parts, I stumble on a word, or I think I know I need to switch up some words, and like there was almost an anticipation of getting a little nervous or self-conscious. Then take a couple of seconds and that's okay. That's okay. And I settle right back. And that happened maybe just a slight little bumps a little bit, a few times, and that's a new experience for me. Thank you for participating. Maybe one thing I would like to say, I like this mindfulness. I do that with my clients a lot, and also maybe slightly different ways in the play setting with kids to play with attention. I would ask them, where's your attention at in this moment? Where would you like your attention to be? Can we focus on less things instead of more, if not one at a time? And attention, I've come to realize, I would say attention is the best, your attention is the best healing power. So during reprocessing, whatever is here, whether body sensation or thought, is it okay? We just notice that, tune our attention to it, and trusting our nervous system can work it through as long as we pay attention to it. So
I
that's
love that.
Yeah, can you rephrase that last part? Like what, I think, Clover, what you wrote down.
I just say that your attention is the best healing power. Whatever happens in the reprocessing in the moment is okay. We just notice it. Tune your attention towards it.
What were those questions earlier on that you had asked them?
Um,
I wrote them down. It was, where is your attention right now? Where would you like it to be? And would you like to focus on less things instead of more, and exploring that?
Okay, so where is your attention right now?
Mhm.
And then what was the next one?
Where would you like it to be?
Where would, and what was the last one?
The last one is the focus, less things instead of more.
right now, my brain is Linda, is it okay I take a few minutes to show them the resource I actually use while with these questions?
If you think we'll have enough time to do both videos and consultation, the other thing you can do is send that to them via email if it's a written resource.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Totally your choice.
I think we can do that either if we have extra time at the end, or I'll send that in email.
Sure.
That'd be great.
That'd be fantastic.
That
Thank you, Liz.
Yes,
No
thank you.
problem.
sounds to me, Liz, like that's it's an excellent resource that you could use for any age.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. All right. Without further ado, who would like to go first?
Clover, do you want to take it away since I did it first last time?
Sure thing.
Okay.
Okay, let me, I know, rock, paper, scissors. Okay, share sound. Let me pull up my, oh wait, here. This will make it easier. Okay. Hopefully.
Can you share the screen?
Yes, I'm sharing the screen right now, making sure I wanted to share the sound. Okay, can you guys see this okay?
Mm-hmm.
Yep,
Okay.
got it.
All right, so Erica was so patient with me. This ended up taking closer to an hour, so we covered a lot of material. But when I wanted to, when I was looking at what I felt I did well, it was actually something that both Liz and Linda, that both of you helped me with last time when we met, because I was kind of curious about how to really get down to the target. I felt like we were kind of stuck in those social settings where she had a lot of social memories. And then it was thanks to both of you helping me kind of grasp how to get back to the primary attachment figure to get that target memory. So we kind of had, well, we had a lot of memories in her timeline with these social situations, being in the pool or pictures or whatever that was. But then I was able to just ask her a little bit more around how would your parents respond? And I wonder what your parents would think of that, and just kind of bringing it back to that primary attachment. So you'll see that here. I think she's talking about when she's 14 and kind of blossoming and being in a social situation, just able to bring it back.
More so when I was like 14, 15, starting to blossom, and then seeing photos and looking back on photos and being embarrassed that I was so chubby, and how could I be lovable? How could I love myself if I wasn't pretty or thin?
Gotcha.
Does that?
Yeah, I'm wondering if you can remember a specific moment in time.
I'm just remembering with my dad and him making comments about what each girl was good at. And then I was the pretty one.
Gotcha. And that was about 14?
Mm. How old are you in like ninth grade? Because I think it was like eighth, ninth grade that I started to kind of blossom.
Yeah, 8th, 9th grade could be 13, 14.
So maybe 14,
Okay. Okay.
maybe 14, 15, yeah.
Okay. No, that's an important one. That's important. I'm wondering too, with these experiences that you are bringing up, I mean, feeling that attachment with that, wanting to feel lovable, wanting to feel accepted.
Mhm.
I mean, a lot of these are social situations or
Mhm.
being compared to siblings or compared to friends.
Mhm.
I'm wondering too, how your mom or dad would respond to you when they would find out these insecurities are coming up. Insecurities around how you look.
You know, I don't think I could help them. I'm having another memory
Yeah,
come up. I'm all over the place, so.
that's okay. I'm gonna go ahead and pause it here. Because what I found was interesting was as I was taking your advice and just kind of teasing out those primary attachment figures and trying to get to that target memory, the memory that she goes into now is when she was 3. So we were stuck with that, being 14 kind of age area, and then really just kind of letting her process a little bit more around that parent. And then it was like, here's this memory when she was 3, and it was beautiful. It was so good. So
Embarrassing.
I appreciated the advice, and really thank you for helping me get to that target memory, because it made such a difference. Made a huge difference. For what I felt I could have done differently. Yes.
I want to say that you it took quite a while. I just read the script. Erica mentioned at least twice. I'm all over the place, but you were so uh, persistent and stayed curious and just I wonder. So I thought that was just beautiful of exploring, kept inviting curiosity. So that was beautiful that you got underneath the answer. That's the attachment longing right there.
Oh, thank you, Liz. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So good.
Thank you. What I feel I could have done differently, I'm actually really glad, Liz, that you did that resource today, because that's the resource that I did. And I realized that I had looked at the resource before. I had never actually done the resource before, but I looked through it and saw that it would be helpful to have like a bell. So I spent time, because again, my answer was showing up. I spent time like finding the right bell chime. I got an app for it. I was ready to go. I was ready to make this resource happen.
It was awesome. I was
It was the perfect bell chime. And then as I'm going through it, for the first time with Erica, I'm realizing as I'm going through it that there's a double page, like in the manual. There's 2 pages that are exactly the same. And so I was going through it, and then you'll see on my face when I realize I'm just repeating the exact same thing. Even though it's the next page of the manual, I'm like, oh, great. Here we go again. So I just kind of like repeat the phrases again, because that's when I realize, oh, this is just a repeat. And then I just kind of very quickly go into find a helpful, positive resource, and let's get out of this, because I just realized we're doing this twice. So I really appreciate the fact, Liz, that you were able to do it with us this morning and help me experience what that's like to go through the process. And so what I'm realizing for me, what I would have done differently is to really practice it first, instead of just kind of skimming it and going, oh, okay, no, I think I've got everything I need. I've got the bell chime, I've got it all printed out, good to go. I think what's really helpful is just being able to really experience it and practice it first. And then I'll be able to be more present with my client rather than me going into my answer of, I am not doing this right. And, and just going into my fix it mode. So anyway, I can show you where my face turns, but that's essentially what happens. It's like, oh, and my answer showed up. So
With that, all I want to say is that really mistakes are mandatory. Here, the manual made a mistake.
right? Thank you.
And what a just a wonderful opportunity to recognize that many of these resources, or all of them actually. I remember when I first kind of skimmed through the manual or just listened through the training, realizing I don't know if that's really going to make a difference or create some really effect in my clients. But then it's after either experiencing them myself or practicing with clients in the moment, in the session, and in the right setting. And now I slowly realize, wow, these resources can be really powerful. I was especially skeptical with the somatic ones. Can you really resolve some quite moderate or whatever disturbance? But that's a really good point. You practice in yourself, experience it, and then go with it. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
I'm really curious, Clover, about having had that experience, where you turn the page and you realize, and you're also being recorded. I'm really curious about what you learned about yourself.
Oh, that's a good question. I think what I learned about myself. Oh, that's a good question. Because now that I'm reflecting back, I'm thinking of like, this is the image that comes to my mind, is like, how you can see a duck that glides across the water, but they're frantically paddling underneath. Like, that's the image that comes to my mind. It's like,
Beautiful.
I think that's what I realized is that I was frantically paddling underneath, but I just kind of went with, hey, now let's do a positive resource and bring that to mind and let's end this, as gracefully as possible. But it was like it was more like I knew looking back, I think I was able to push through gracefully and hopefully. Yeah, I mean, I was trying really hard to just okay.
It was
So,
very graceful.
as hard as we can be on ourselves and knowing your answer and wanting to do it right, I mean, I don't know, but it sounds like you learned you can make a mistake and just keep going.
I love that. I love that. Even as you share that with me, Linda, I'm noticing I was able to just relax my shoulders and just take a deep breath.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Nice.
Yes. Thank you. I already noticed I'm just feeling more relaxed. Thank you so much.
As I reviewed the transcript, there's another point I wanted to mention. It's related to resourcing. You use the container. It's
Yes.
technically after you complete a target, finish body scan all clear and closed, you don't necessarily use a container because the
Oh,
point of container is right before you close, right before you send the client back to the real world. If there's remaining disturbance the state, you want to shift it to a more regulated state. So
oh,
yeah.
Liz, thank you. That was actually on my list of questions to ask, and that was perfect. Thank you. Because I was wondering about that because I'm so used to doing the container each and every time that when we closed it, I think I was just thinking, I don't know if I'm supposed to do a container and another resource, or if we're okay to just do a resource to help her ground. So thank you. That answered my question. That was perfect. Thank you.
That was my answer. I wanted to, whatever I noted down to get it out. And actually, you were going to ask it, right?
Yeah. I think it's always okay to ask.
Mhm,
Um, I think that um, the thing that I would offer is try not to do the same thing with everybody all the time to assume that the container is to say, okay, now we're going to do a container. But I think the nonviolent approach at the end of the session is to offer the resource.
Mhm.
And I'm wondering if there's a resource that might be helpful for you
mhm.
to kind of come back to the present prior to going back to work. Reprocessing sessions can be exhausting.
Mhm.
And so, although you may have finished a memory, there may still be, you know, activation from other associated memories or anything that might come. So, you use your clinical judgment. We don't want to assume the person needs the container. Maybe a different resource like a grounding resource might be more helpful.
Okay.
And so it's getting to know your client, having discussed resources, finding out which ones that's why on the target sequence plan, there's a place there for you to list resources that the client maybe has found to be very helpful.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I like that. I like that a lot.
And I'm wondering if you can take us to, just so we can watch a little bit from minute 25. I think you're in phase 3 here. I wanted to watch a little bit of phase 3.
Okay.
I'm naughty. That's what comes to mind.
And when you bring up that picture, what would you prefer to believe about yourself instead?
Well, I was naughty. What I'd prefer to believe is that I was probably seeking some attention, that I'm worthy of attention and care.
I'm worthy of attention and care. It also sounds to me like with some of these other events that you were mentioning in your timeline, I'm thinking about the boy that was like boing with your hair, your curly hair, your ringlets. It sounds like sometimes you would get attention, but it sounds like what you're looking for, would you say I'm worthy of loving attention?
Yeah.
Okay, loving attention and care.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, can you stop it there, Clover?
Yes.
What do you notice?
I'm noticing my answer coming up. I'm wondering if maybe I did something wrong. Like, I'm wondering if that was okay for me to bring in that additional word to it, or if I should have just let the client go with what she felt was good for her at the time.
Yeah, what do you think?
Mm.
Phase 3. Do you remember what the purpose of phase 3 is? The primary purpose?
I know it's to heighten. We're trying to heighten it and allow them to start processing it.
Trying to light up the limbic system.
Uh-huh.
So then what center of the brain are you really trying to light up? The thinking brain or the emotional brain?
Oh, the emotional brain.
Yeah,
So me asking that question would actually put her into that thinking spot.
right.
Okay, okay.
Excellent. Yeah, excellent. Yeah, and this is something that is it's like mistakes are required. This is a great one to make because it'll take you back to the understanding of phase 3. One of the things that has always been taught in training is trying to go down phase 3 like this without discussion. You might ask a clarifying question around the negative belief or the positive belief, a short one like, so if that's true, what does that mean about you as a person? Or, just because we don't want to start a discussion, you know, um, and it's really interesting because at 2612, you actually use those words. Um, oh, I'm thinking that maybe, okay, and so both of you go back into thinking, and that can impact the client's ability to light up the limbic system to really go into reprocessing.
Oh, that makes sense. That makes sense.
It's not always. I mean, sometimes you'll notice that somebody will just light right up when you get down to the negative belief and the feeling, and they'll go into reprocessing, but we're really trying to light that up as much as we can, help the client.
Yes.
Yes. So great mistake. Thank you.
Thanks, Linda. Thank you.
Yes, thank you for making that because that taught me. So I appreciate it.
Okay.
You
Nice.
guys are the best. Would you have used that question when she said I'm naughty? Would you have used that quick clarification of, so if that's true, what does that mean about you as a person? Or would you have left it?
Well, we think about, for me, it's almost a very deep, you want to try to get the deepest negative belief. And often it's in the words of a child. And there you have it. I'm naughty. It could have been I'm bad, but I'm naughty is the words of a child. Oh my God, I'm naughty. I, as a person, it's so raw that I think she just gave it to you right there.
Okay.
Yeah, and then when her positive belief, I'm worthy of attention and care. Wow, that's beautiful.
Okay. Oh, I love that.
Yeah,
Okay.
and I just loved how you demonstrated right in this moment how your answer got in the way of, well, maybe it's I'm worthy of loving attention.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Like, I mean, these are the most beautiful, beautiful mistakes to make because we learn about ourselves. It's not really about us. It's really about what's going on, at that moment. And so our answer is to kind of be able to set that aside and stay out of the way.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yes, that makes a lot of sense to me.
Yeah.
Thank you very, very much. That's very helpful. Thank
Lovely.
you.
Yeah. It was actually a really nice job on the video.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much.
If there anything that could assure your thinking part of brain, you get a second chance in phase 5 to get the PC, positive cognition, right. So don't worry too much. As long as it's going towards the positive direction, it's I something, it's about the self, then go with it.
Liz, I appreciate that reassurance. That does help my thinking brain. Thank you. Thank you very, very much. Thank you. That was all that I had to show. Was there anything else on that?
Um,
I didn't have anything. You brought
Okay.
it all up nicely.
Okay.
One, I think this is just as I'm dialing back a little bit as like following up what Linda offered about wrapping up the session. Follow your clinical judgment and inviting the client to be part of it. I also just this is my preference when I do the container exercise. I don't assume that the client has the same container they want to use every time. And there has have been clients or instance certain memories they prefer certain containers or after some significant container memory processing, they are now picking different containers. So just follow the script and let them tell you. That would
Okay.
be my
Very good.
advice.
Thank you, Liz. That's very, very good.
Yeah, that's a great point, Liz, because we're really about what's in the moment now. And that's why we don't go back and give somebody the memory and say, "Do you remember the memory we worked on where you were 5 years old and you were in the da da and the da 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 da?" Because we just ask, "Do you remember what we worked on last time?" And if not, we give them just a little screenshot of it because we really want to be looking at what is here today, what's here in this moment. And that's true. It might be a different container, or they might not even want to do the container, or yeah.
That's good. That's really, really good.
And my homework after reviewing last time's video, I didn't get to do that. But just a very quick note. When you finish finding the root, I noticed that you actually went into phase 3, then realized there was no time for phase 4, then closed there. So again, just an overall rule of thumb, if you don't have time for phase 4, don't go into phase 3.
Okay.
Phase
Okay.
3 and 4, always tie them together.
Okay. Okay. Good to know.
Sometimes you may only have, let's say, 10 minutes to reprocess phase 4. Like the phase 3 take 2 minutes and phase 2, but that's still okay. Go for it, then leave time to wrap up. But if you don't have time for phase 4, I'm repeating myself, don't go into phase 3.
No, that's so good. Thank you. That
Yeah,
makes a lot of sense to me too. Thank you.
that's
I
all
feel
I
like
have.
the feedback is so helpful for me. I feel like I'm getting more of a cohesive picture of how it all works. So thank you very much. It really helps me when we talk it through and explain it. I feel like I'm understanding it more of the why rather than just the what. So thank you very much.
Sorry, one more clarifying question. I'm noticing the videos are showing you side by side. I wonder if you were using the gallery mode or the speaker mode when you were recording with each other.
Yes, I was doing gallery.
Yeah, I ask all my people to use gallery mode so we can see both the
Okay,
somatic, the
I see.
somatic review of the client, any somatic responses of the client, as well as the therapist. So that's my request.
That makes sense, and
Yeah.
it's helpful for practice and
Mhm.
consultation purpose. But yeah, okay. I wasn't aware of that discussion, but good that you know when you're with clients, what you are going to use the speaker mode.
Mhm. Yes, yes. Thank you, Liz. Thank
Thank
you.
you for clarifying that with me. All right,
Thank you very much.
welcome. Um, how about we do Erica's video, then take a quick break.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we
All
can
right.
take whatever time we need, Erica. So, because we've
Okay.
got case consults after the break, and we just want to make sure that you each get equal time. So, however that pans out, whether we spend a little more time on video some month and less time on cases, more on cases, less, that's absolutely fine as long as you both get approximately equal time for your
That sounds great.
material.
Okay, I don't know what happened, but when you change screens, I can no longer see you, but I can hear you.
Hmm.
So,
Do you have a Zoom icon down at the bottom of your
well, there you are. I found you. Yes, thank you. It's like, I don't know
That'll do
where
it.
they went. Okay. I appreciate that. Yes, okay, sounds good. I just want to say, bring into the room with us in this present moment that I am feeling my answer popping up everywhere. Because well, first off, I saw an email that that you guys had sent me a while back about the last assignment, I think. And then so now I'm like, I don't know if I did it right.
Whatever you did is absolutely fine for our
Okay.
purposes today. And
Okay.
confusion was on our part because
Oh,
we did not get evaluations out, our feedback forms out that would have had the assignment on it. And
okay.
Liz and I needed to confer together. And so you and I had talked, Erica. Remember we
Right.
talked, and I had given you the assignment, and that it's fine if you did that one, or because you both were actually in a little different space at the end of last.
Right.
So I think we'll be more at the same place this time, and that the assignment is going to be the same for our
Okay.
next one. So whatever you did with this, and I read through it, and Liz read through it, we're all good.
Okay. Sounds good.
Here's
Hey.
See, this is my answer. It's like I want to tell you it's okay.
Thank you. Appreciate
I
it.
have to take care of you and make sure that there's no worries. My kids love this until they get to be an adult, and then they're like, "Mom, I got it. It's okay.
Like, good, good.
I'm good."
Well, I very much appreciate that reassurance. So, and I feel like I learned a lot. There's things that, when hearing Clover, things that come up, I was like, oh, okay, so I have a little more to share with you. So,
It's the beauty of consultation.
yes,
Yeah.
yes, I love it. Okay, so I will bring up the video. And I suppose I should share my screen.
Good morning, Clover.
Oh,
Good morning.
there we go.
We can hear you, hear the video.
You can't see it.
Now I can see it.
I can see it. Okay.
So I'd like to ask one question just before you start your presentation, Erica, of what you did well. Can you tell me what phase you were starting with in this video?
So I started with phase 8, I
Okay,
believe,
okay.
and then went in. And if I didn't, I should have. But I feel like, well, I'm like hesitant to say I did this well, but I feel like I did well, partly like just going in and refreshing my client on the mechanics
Yeah,
before we started.
nice
Yes.
job. Yeah.
So that's what
How are
I
you doing
did
today?
here.
I'm doing really well, thank you. Oh, good. So good to see you.
I'll go through that. Okay.
All right.
Could you make the box or the window a little bigger?
Yes, yes. Here, let me start that again.
Awesome.
There you go. Can you hear it?
Good morning, Clover. Good morning. How are you doing today? I'm doing really well, thank you. Oh, good. So good to see you. Today we're gonna just jump right in, but first I wanna go over the mechanics just as a refresher for you. If I recall correctly, last time you liked we did the butterfly. Yes. How are you feeling today? Would you like to continue with the butterfly? Yeah, actually I would. That'd be great. Let's do that. Let's do that. Okay. So we'll just prepare to do that. After we get started, we're gonna just go right into starting to reprocess. Okay. Great. That sounds great. All right. Okay. All right.
So this next part, now that I recall, I don't know that I did go into phase 8 right after, because I think I go right into the timeline. So that's something that I can do better next time. That's something that I failed to do. And so, but this is also something I noticed that I failed to do. So I didn't have my correct papers with me that had the timeline on it. So I was going off of the script from the last time. And I think that's a big no for me, because I was like, I don't know where the heck I'm at. And so I'm so sorry, Clover. And you were so patient, because here we go through this long pause.
So last time, at the very end, we came to the touchstone memory of remembering how you felt at preschool. So you were feeling the feelings of I'm inadequate came up for you. Do you still feel like that still feels right? Yeah, that still feels good. Okay. And so I guess, what is the worst part of that memory now of being in preschool and having those feelings?
Actually, I think I did go into phase 8 right there.
What do you think, Erica? Look at do you have your script for phase 8 in front of you?
I don't have it in front of me,
Okay.
but I think I recall, because we kind of check in with that and then go in. Yeah.
So again, and I'm kind of coming in, Liz, so you can kick me
Please.
out if
Yeah.
you want to. But
Mhm.
again, I think this is just an excellent mistake to make. Okay.
Right.
Right. And you picked it up right away. I didn't have my treatment sequence plan in front of me. I wasn't really sure where we went off. Well, because if you have phase 8 in front of you, it will guide you through phase 8.
Right.
And all you really need to know is, did we finish the memory last time, or are we restarting to finish? If you know that, and you know of just a headline of what the memory was. Okay. So I noticed you gave her the memory
Right.
and you gave her the feeling, and then you asked her, does that still feel right? And I wondered what would have happened if instead of asking, if you'd said, you know, if you're in phase 8, do you remember what we worked on? Yes. Does that memory still hold charge for you?
Ooh, I like that.
That's in phase 8. Does it still feel
Right.
distorted? Does it still hold charge? Does it? And in phase 8 gives you the opportunity to see what has happened between sessions. Were there other associated memories? Have you had any dreams? You are seeing what is here today.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
And so, phase 8, to follow that script, it also at the bottom gives you the instructions of how to restart the memory if it's an unfinished memory, or to look at the sheet, go to the next memory in chronological order, and start phase 3.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. No, that is good. Yeah, I definitely could have done that better.
Well, yeah. And in some ways, you flew by the seat of your pants and you got to see what that feels like.
Yep, sure did.
So there's a couple things here where I just want to emphasize how important language is. The language of, do you remember what we worked on? Do you remember the memory? If not,
Right.
be able to give a headline. And when we start, it's not what's the worst part of the memory, it's what image. Because the image, if you can get an image, it takes you into that limbic system.
Okay.
Image is more activating than the thought.
Okay. Right. That's kind of the similar thing we talked about before, taking it into the thinking. Okay.
Yeah, and so if you're looking at the script will always ask for the image first, and if you can't get an image, it then goes to what was the worst part.
Okay. Okay. Something that I've noticed, and this is a question that came up in that, is that they ask for an image and a feeling, I think, one right after the other,
Mm-hmm.
if I recall correctly. And so sometimes I feel like it's redundant.
Yeah, interesting. Okay.
Because sometimes they'll give me the same answer, but I guess I just need to notice that and just go with it.
If you look at the language of the script, it'll ask for the image, and then it'll ask for, in phase 3 is different than phase 8. Phase 3 is for starting a new memory where you're going to get the image, you're going to get the negative belief, you're going to get the positive belief, you're going to rate the positive belief before you talk about an emotion in phase 3. In phase 8, it's a little mini phase 3.
Okay.
You get the image, you get the emotion, you rate it, and then you go.
Okay. And so it's just bringing up what they're feeling in the present and where they are now, and not
where they
where
were.
we left off.
No, because that's why phase 8 is evaluating how much reprocessing has happened between the last session and this one. Because in phase 7, what you said to her last time was, you may continue to process and.
Right.
Okay.
Right. Well, and then as we go on in the video, that actually comes to light, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if you want to watch it, but I just remember because then eventually she's like, actually, I'm good. That memory's, I'm not there anymore, right?
Yeah.
And so it's like, oh, okay. Well, you're throwing me off again. In me, that's how I'm feeling. I'm like, oh,
yeah.
So
what do you think happened between last session and this one?
For me or for her?
For her.
Oh, she definitely reprocessed. Yeah.
What do you think happened for you?
I was still in the same place. Right. And I'm thinking, I just got to get this right. I got to get,
So
Get us started right.
what do you notice right now in your body? Tune in.
I am feeling like, I don't know, activated, like maybe a little anxious,
Okay.
still like, oh my gosh, I'm getting called out. Like I'm calling myself out, like, oh yeah, here are my mistakes. You're gonna see all of it today. Right.
So
Yeah.
I'm just wondering what resource might be helpful for you right now, right here.
I think I'm just going to that calm place. Yeah. Calm, safe place.
Mhm. See what you can learn for yourself, about yourself.
Mhm.
I invite you to just welcome in your answer. Just notice it. Maybe bring some compassion to it. It's always there to help you. Always.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. It starts to run away with me. Like
Interesting. Yeah.
I just notice it like getting very activated if I can speed up and go faster.
Yeah.
And as I talk about it, I feel like I start to go that way again. Like if I can speed up, go faster, to hurry up and get it right, then I will be okay.
Right. So it's really about safety, isn't it?
Yeah.
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 Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it's really it's like a growing edge. One of the things that Liz and I have hopefully the opportunity is offer you a safe place where you can welcome your answer and see what you can learn about it and how it has been very, very helpful. And it always shows up to try to help.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then when you said, this, I feel like I have to run faster and faster, it's like, huh, I wonder if that's balanced for me. Like, is it really helpful? Am I in that level of danger?
Right.
Or can I just notice it and welcome it in and be able to acknowledge, yeah, man, I feel like I want to just run. Can't wait for this session to be over. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
For some of us, it can be the first time that we've ever really been in a space where mistakes are just cherished.
Right. No, it is a very new experience.
Yeah.
Especially it just, causes me to think about growing up,
Yeah.
that if you make a mistake, you might,
Right.
someone's going to tell you what.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. The personal transformation that's available to us can be really scary because, we're so used to our answer and our answer kicking in and it being so helpful because it just helps us tolerate till we get out of that scary place.
Right? My hands are all sweaty. I'm wiping them off on my pants.
Yeah.
But I love this. Not that I need to go into all of this, but it just is bringing up memories for me
Absolutely. Yeah.
of how, wow, yeah, no wonder I was such an anxious child.
Yeah.
'Cause
Well,
I
if you want to, you don't have to do this, but if you want to, make sure Clover has those on the treatment sequence plan.
yeah, totally, Clover. I got some more fun stuff for you.
I'm taking notes, Erica. I'm taking notes.
Free EMDR. I mean,
All right. Right. I've seen this pop up in my relationship. I've seen it pop up in the past with performance all over the place.
yeah, beautiful. I say that's beautiful because
Right.
that means you're in a safe enough place or you have access to how this is connected for you and how your answer developed and how it helps and how it gets in your way.
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally. This is such a gift from you guys to me. So thank you for creating that space and helping me explore and tease that out and notice it.
Yeah.
That it's here now.
All right, I'm going to turn it over to Liz, and you guys go ahead and look at your video, Erica, and share what you noticed, other things that maybe you would have done differently or you want a consult on or whatever you guys
Yeah,
want to do.
for sure. Okay. Well, I noticed, I think we kind of covered that beginning part of noticing. Something that stands out was kind of similar to what Clover was saying. I think it was towards the end when I'm doing a safe, calm place. It was the first time that I had. I think I briefly read over it, but I hadn't done it out loud. And I think doing it aloud or practicing it maybe with someone before I do it would be very wise because I did not do it correctly at the end. And Clover noticed and I noticed because our answers were kind of coming up like, I don't think I'm doing this right. And I think that
And then
we bring that into the room.
close your eyes and feel a butterfly. Just kind of see, start to
Away.
slow down and feel that calm place and feel that safety to help you through
I think I went too far.
the dance of our answer.
Oh, yeah. So we start the safe calm place. We're kind of in the middle of it. Sorry, I'm looking for the place where she's like, I'm not shifting. There we are.
I'm not doing it right. Or I'm feeling my answer come up as well. And wondering why. Right? So we'll just notice that we're having the stance of our answers. And we'll go with that. So I think that's wonderful that you're feeling that calm place, right? You're feeling that relaxed state. And yes, good. You're in a good place. So well done. So I would like to offer this as an option for homework to notice the cue word and the calm place. And so if you notice any disturbances or things bothering you this week, maybe you just think of that safe, calm place. And then you can close your eyes and feel a butterfly. Just kind of see, start to slow down and feel that calm place and feel that safety to help you through that disturbance. That sounds great. Okay. Thank you so much.
So yeah, what are some feedback here?
I think I know what you're talking about, the shift. I didn't notice any shift.
Yeah.
It's just very simple practice. When we practice with client, we practice the safe, calm place, and they associate the cue word with the state, right? Then we actually ask them, can you think of anything mildly disturbing happened recently? This morning, yesterday? We don't want them to bring up a ton of disturbance, something like irritates you or a little annoyed. And we could take a sud or recommend it to be something not too heavy, over 5. Then, I'm going to give you the cue word and see if you can bring up a safe place. and within a minute, they're able to notice the shift.
Okay.
And then you can go back again to bring up that mildly disturbing thing, and you didn't reprocess any of that yet. I'm not going to remind you of the cue word. Can you, after
Okay.
bring up the disturbance, you automatically practice to use it.
I
It's
like-
it's important that we can actually demonstrate right here that client get to shift state if something happened. This is already practiced in the office. Something disturbing a little before it get too bad, they notice that and they can start using it
Share it.
and feel confident that they can feel a positive shift within a minute or two, and nobody can notice what they're using, right? That's a very good resource that to build in.
Right. Okay.
You didn't know, or you didn't. We give you so much information during the 6 days, so that's
Yeah.
and
Yeah. Yeah.
it's a good learning mistake, and you learned.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. Definitely. And
Yeah.
I think it is a great resource, and when used used correctly, and that it makes sense to her and to me. And I think, yeah, that's very helpful to recognize too, that I don't need to be recapping the words for them, just maybe asking them, so what is it that you're, helping them come up with the words of their safe, calm place.
Right. Yeah. So they can pick their own words, cue words.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. And I
Another,
don't rephrase them, I guess, because I tend to
yeah,
want to
good
bring it up
notice.
rephrase. Yeah.
Whatever that means for them, they can
Right.
label it or name it. They can own it. That also comes with it's empowering that they claim that space for themselves.
Right. Yeah.
Another, it's just also technical about the bilateral stimulation.
Yes.
We want to differentiate the speed between reprocessing phase 4 through 6. Phase 4, phase 5 installation, phase 6 body scan. These are all fast bilateral stimulation.
Okay.
And
So
when we do, yeah, as fast as the client can tolerate.
okay.
Then when we do resourcing, we want to really slow it down.
Oh,
Very slow, gentle tapping, or on the with that tool, I usually slow it down to 4.5.
okay.
This is because on the fast BLS tend to speed up reprocessing and open up new channels. The slow ones are more calming, just to acknowledge the current state and strengthen the positives. So we want to differentiate those two.
Okay. Thank you. That's very helpful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually have a quick question on that. I'm wondering, like I haven't done butterfly tapping with clients. Usually they like the marker or something else with the eye stimulation, but with butterfly tapping, like are we doing it with the client? But I don't know. I mean, that's another technical question because I noticed that when I was doing it with Erica, I was doing it like this and then I would hear her tapping and it would almost be like we were off beat. It was like out of sync. So I don't know. I mean, is that
Ah, that's good feedback, Clover.
Um, I I would ask Linda to add. I would say there's no absolute one way or the other. I do prefer to do it with clients. Um, That's especially when they are in some really distressed state. And I use the tapping sound and my voice to, like if they're feeling really suicidal and they're getting to the pain that they feel if I go in and it's going to kill me. So those are especially times my presence and EQ of reminding them we are on the train together, getting through a dark tunnel. So I just become used to tapping with them. But I know a lot of people don't need to tap, and both works. That's
Yeah, I
my
think it's your preference. You are if you're hearing your client, there's going to be a delay with the Zoom between their audio and yours. So that's why you're going to be tapping and they're tapping and the sound is off. So tapping can be helpful for co-regulating. You know what you'll notice when you do the eye movements with people in person, particularly, is when somebody's really reprocessing, they're speeding up and you're going with them. And it's like, boy, I notice we're really going faster and faster and faster. So that attunement can be really helpful. If you use the online bilateral tool or you use remote EMDR, it can be easier to be in sync because that tool will likely be in sync between the two of you versus Zoom audio isn't always in sync. So you just have to kind of work with it. You know, we're all doing a lot of virtual as well as some people are doing more in session. Um, and just kind of see what you notice and try
Okay.
to be attuned to what's going on with your client versus your own tapping.
Okay. Oh, that's good. Thank you. Thank you.
I guess another thing I noticed is with some clients, especially new clients, when we first start meeting, I would ask them try to match my pace because some might just start doing this or doing both sides, and if I just tap, they follow me, they copy me. Um, that's another reason I tap. Usually, I tap with the client.
Okay.
I just find whatever works for you.
Yes. No, thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you. I didn't mean to jump in, Erica. It was just something
No,
else.
you're fine. No, I think that's good. And I guess something that comes to mind for me is like just tuning in to see, because it sounds like maybe that extra noise, maybe it wasn't helpful for me to be tapping with you, because maybe that extra noise was maybe not helpful for you. So I guess my thing is maybe what's appropriate to is it appropriate to check in, be like, is this helpful for you or is this not helpful for you if I join
Yeah.
you,
Yeah,
right?
definitely. I like that it's tuning into the client, right? Because I noticed, Erica, that when you did the body scan with me and I hugged myself and you were hugging, like joining with me in the hug,
Right.
I just felt so much love. Like I just felt so safe and just so
Yeah.
connected and like,
Yeah.
oh, she's in this with me. I love that.
Yeah.
And I noticed that with the reprocessing, it was almost distracting to me because I was like hearing a bunch of taps. I could hear mine and someone else's, and I was like, we're not in sync, you know.
So
But
hard to
anyways,
focus.
so
Yeah.
yeah,
Great
Yeah.
learning. Great learning.
Yeah.
That's going to be very helpful for you
Yeah,
with
it
your
is.
clients. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, can we take a break?
Yeah. How
Yeah.
about back at well, half hour,
Yeah.
half hour point. Then we have 20 more minutes for the case consultation.
Great.
thank you.
Thank you.